35
There he is.
Hey, I think I'm being followed.
We're starting early, Greg.
I think I'm being followed.
We'll put it in your basket.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah,
It's a lot worse than the back. Oh my God.
you're right. Put the camera away.
What Greg's done best for the last 38 years.
Focus in on it. Zero in on it, right?
There they are.
No, I seen your truck parked there, and I said, where is it?
Where you going, Greg?
The FCs, the key, those big gray things, you know, where you hook up for your DMS and that,
Yeah,
for your key system and that.
yeah.
I got modules down there that were supposed to be taken out of them.
24s or 23s?
I don't know. There's different things, but they were supposed to be out. Then they refurbished the unit that's
Just
still
come back.
Must be a while ago now.
Oh, is that right? They're modules.
Yeah,
NT5. I'll go. I'll be in a minute.
Okay then.
Okay, I'll be
I'll see you
up.
outside.
This one.
People invited to check 1, 2, check, test 1, 2.
There's the bride to be.
You need just two? We're trying two. Okay. You okay? These guys can be right here. You can move them over a bit. The press coming?
I'm impressive.
Woo!
Now when you get back there, plug your 2.
Oh, official?
I'll hold the pen.
You guys are good.
Well, we're
Hope you're getting paid for this. Faceless man.
No, it doesn't start to fuck. Does it sound too?
No sound.
I've got good material to work with.
Oh.
No, we won't be able to see anything from this side of the table.
Don't put us on this thing. Seriously, because like last time, Hi. Hello. I like your own fish. Thanks. Hi there. Hi.
I'll be out there.
Don Crawford. Don Crawford.
Hi, Ray.
Here they come. Mr. and Mrs. Dunnett.
Hey.
There they are.
Hi, Mr. Press. How are you?
Got your rose.
You have to go in here. I wanted to. Just about. Just about.
Hear that, Greg?
What?
She said jab him while you got the chance.
Maybe it should be me.
I hear he's giving them a hard time.
Oh, always has.
Oh, that's all right. I'm reading anyway. How are you, Mr. Pressman? Hey?
What do I got? Huh? What do I got?
He's impressive.
Hi.
Yo, Paul.
Say hi, Andrew. Say hi, Andrew.
Is this your friend?
Say hi to Andrew. Yeah.
Dad taking your picture?
There he is.
Just waiting for a moment while Greg gets his product. We had quite a few complaints, besides having the party for Bill here a few weeks ago. A lot of people couldn't hear. Can everybody hear down back? This is a little session for Greg or a meeting of the Miramichi Fishing Association.
Pass that to your grandfather.
Greg does have a lot of friends and family. As you can see, we're all gathered here. A couple that couldn't be here but did make a call was Greg's mom and dad. Still wish you all the best. Did they go to your wedding? Suppose I don't have to warn you, Rose, you gotta give them boot room. My name's Rock O'Keefe, and I've known Gregory for about 28 to 38 years. I'm not saying they're all good. I'm not saying they're all bad. You happy, Bill? I'm quite honored to be able to come up here and sort of MC this little deal, or a great big deal. Is that not peppermint? No, you can't smoke it in the back of Friar's truck. Besides the honored guest and Greg's family here, we have a man that perhaps was mainly responsible for Greg being here, and I'm awful glad to see Mr. Shepherd here, Mr. Herb Shepherd. Come, I'm awful glad that he did. I'd like at this time to introduce Greg's family, wife Rose, President, Chief Executive Officer of Dunnett Enterprises. We have daughter Debbie and her husband Bill and children Heather and Jonathan. And we have son David and Pam and child Lindsay. Son Bill and his guest Tammy. And the baby of the outfit, Jamie, I guess, who's also graduating this year.
Go first.
Yeah. They probably think they know their father. Because Rose cast the family allowance checks. I bet you they didn't know that they used to run movies out of their house. Blue movies. Oh, God. Still see Cliff Boyer and old Vic Smith right up in the front row. Probably went home with his poor wife and looked around and said, what the hell? But Greg used to invite us over there. Only way he would get to see them. It was nice coming in here to see an old black and gray company truck. The old LIU bodies on them. I know Greg remembers them well. They used to have 3 pedals at that time. And he is probably instrumental in the company changing over to automatic transmissions. He didn't know that you had to shove it in, that left-hand side one, and he didn't know that it had to come back out again. And that was the extent of it. It was just, I'm sure Greg's family have driven with him before. Probably under threat. Did a couple of jobs on Mom's car too, from what I hear. Cliff Boyer used to be an INR foreman here, and he retired quite a bit ago. And just when Greg came down, he was an INR foreman, and they all had their own vehicles, and Clifford had a brand new, is it a console or a Vauxhall? What was it? Console. Clifford awful proud of that car, and he used to see Greg drive. And he said this day, he was leaving on a Friday. He said the 4-letter word to Greg that Greg don't understand. He said, don't. Don't touch my new car. Going away next week? Don't touch my new car. He had one of his own. Nobody borrowed it. Holy God. Well, about 8:30 Monday morning, Greg had it rearranged. How many handbrakes do you pull off that thing? Used to have a little pull-on handbrake on the side. You walked out of that car with that handbrake. How many times? Well, he did that. And what else did you do? Nothing? You used to fancy yourself quite a fixer of things. How many people that know Greg ever saw him that he didn't have Mercure comb, loose cars, or band-aids? Take that camera up there quick. Leave that for insurance. But this is a big year for the Dunnett family, besides Jamie graduating.
A pee-pee's dead.
They're going to celebrate their 35th anniversary. That's quite a big thing. Rose is Chief Executive Officer. She's going to retire. Helping hand Greg. We're here for that retirement here.
I'll just carry the band.
Buy them by the gross, don't you? Yes? We're going to sell the home, which is a real big thing after 28 years of being here, right across the street. Remember all the times he lied to you and said, I have to go to work? Remember all that time? Yeah, we're going to build a new home in Cambridge Narrows, and I'm sure we'll have all nice neighbors up there because the people up there are going to inherit a real good neighbor. And Greg, you want to get a chance to get even with all of us? Not ready yet. You can tell when Greg's ready. Just pawing ground. Just like you need to kickstart a motor or something. Oh, there. We're not quite ready yet. So while we're getting Greg ready, I'd like to call on Mr. Bill Steves, Vice President, Corporate Services and Treasurer, to
The first thing I did was put this up. I'll put it down for you later. Well, it's certainly a privilege for me. He certainly has done a commendable job. They fit the jobs that fit him well, and he's fit the jobs well. Apparently in the outside world, I guess that's not always the case. It hasn't always been the case. Although he's been a great family man, he enjoyed his family, got involved, his kids were involved in hockey, as I understand it, and scouts, church, those kinds of things. And one of the things that Greg apparently never learned how to do was cook. As I understand that his wife she was the chief cook and bottle washer, chief executive officer, I think she was referred to earlier. So, now any bachelor, I would think, that would be here, whether they cook much or not, could at least mix up macaroni and cheese, Kraft dinner, right? Wouldn't you think? Well, apparently Craig didn't know much about cooking at all, but he was invited by the Scouts one time to get involved in some activity, I don't know what it was, but he got assigned to be the chief cook. So they sent him downstairs to mix up the macaroni, the Kraft dinner. So of course, guess what Greg did? He didn't boil the water first. He put it into the cold water and he ended up with, I guess, just quite a bit of paste there. I asked somebody whether he fed it to the scouts. They said no, he thought he took it home and used it for wallpaper. Some of the kids must remember that. I was talking to one of the VPs at noon hour, and I didn't realize that Greg was a driving instructor, especially after what Larry had just said. But anyway, one of the VPs, current VP, I guess John McDonald, was telling me that when he first came to the company, Greg was teaching him how to drive a car, and he said, okay, we'll go park the thing now. So John apparently parked it. Now this was all simulated, as I understand it. John got up, started to walk away. He says, what are you doing? John says, well, I'm all done. He says, no, you're not. You're abandoning the bloody car. You can't do that. John says, okay, to get back in the seat. He's never forgotten that to this day. That's what he remembers about Greg. And Greg, it certainly is a pleasure for me to be here and to be able to present you with your trade. And like I said, you certainly have a lot of friends here, and we really do appreciate everything you've done for the company over the years. And I know everybody in the room, including myself, wish you very, very well in your retirement, and just the very best. And even as you move up to the Cambridge Narrows area there, I know you're going to enjoy it, do the things that you like to do. So, on behalf of the company, I'd like to present you.
Well, we're not going to make the mistake we made last time. Leno said there's a definite difference between walking on thin ice and jumping up and down. There'll be no short and tall jokes today. I've only got a little bit to go. I wouldn't mind having one of these things. I remember Greg being down in school too. And I remember his driver education. Just bring a tear to a glass eye to see that car loaded up with all new employees going down the road, the seatbelts clanging away in the pavement. What a joy. He did manage to change his title while he was down there twice, though. He was a plant instructor when he arrived, designer trainer when he left. How's the one to replace him? They went to Moncton and said, my God, there's a good candidate right there. Of course, that's not quite the way Bob Logan put it, and we don't have to go in there. I come down and I became a molder of mines. A much better title. I'm Fallon to present Greg with his pen.
Greg, Rose, family. It's a lot of fun coming up here to do this to Greg because he deserves it. He has been known for years as the master of ceremonies of these things out here in Millidgeville. You notice when he gets up to take the tray, there was no hesitation. He just walked up and he knew exactly where to stand and what angle from the photographer. He's done this before. It's my pleasant duty to go over Greg's history of the company, along with presenting the band. Now, a lot of people have been stepping on my lines, and I'm going to talk to them after this is over. But anyway, I started off with Greg was hired in Newcastle as a CO man in plant in June 30th, 1953. He was put out on the job training immediately by his new boss, Mr. Shepard, who's here. Mr. Shepard taught him how to pack test sets for shipment, and the next day he taught he and Eddie Matchett how to dig and place an anchor. Both jobs which Greg got very good at. Julie, he apparently failed either the packing or the digging, I'm not sure which, because he returned to Newcastle in January of '56. There's some indication he may have been homesick, because he married Rose on August the 2nd the same year. Apparently Herb needed a good digger and packer in Campbellton because Greg was transferred along with his new bride in October of that year, 1956. And it's also apparent that he got better at digging and packing because he did everything from being a CO man to acting as the wire chief in Campbellton, Bathurst, to Newcastle from '56 to '63. It was in the same period that he developed his proficiency in driving, which has been mentioned earlier today. He excelled in the Thames vans and Anglia cars, I'm told. It was also in this period that he became highly proficient at patching sea carriers, something that I managed to run into him in the '57-'58 period. In November 1963, the company took a major step and a calculated risk and appointed Greg an I&R foreman here in St. John. He also had a few stints as acting manager customer services. In November, the company decided they finally had a good packer and digger, so they decided to share Greg's talents with the rest of the employee body. And they made Greg an instructor in the plant school, something that Rocky just talked about. Greg was also able to use all of his talents, as many talents, as a vehicle driver in this period because he not only taught installation courses, but, as was mentioned before, was responsible for the driver training. Apparently, the vehicle accident rate increased significantly because in March of '78 he was transferred back to the I&R. In April of 1986, the company finally decided to get this great driver off the road and put him in charge of in-house repair, a job which led to his current assignment in Bruntech, where his original training in the hands of Mr. Shepard finally came to fruition. Greg has still got a stick out digging in the compost.
No, not you. I don't want you.
And he's still trying to find sets shipped 100 feet away from the warehouse. So shipping and digging are still in there. Some of you may feel that we're being unfair to Greg, and it's probably true. But you have to realize that he's been involved in some of the greatest pranks that have ever been played on people. And everything from the stories about him in his early days, he deserves because he's done it to others. Just think of what he did to poor Art Bond and Doug Murray. When he was supposed to be carrying one of these things, all morning of the day, he coughed and spitted and let on as how he was sick and wasn't feeling good. He left at about 12 noon and said to Doug, "I'm not going to be back, I'm sick." So Doug went immediately to Art and said, "You're going to have to do that if he doesn't come back." And the effervescent Mr. Murray locked himself in the tool booth. So when Greg arrived back at 1 o'clock, with a shower and shave and a new suit, he found Art down in the corner of his office digging in the box he kept for sleeves and those especially conservative ties of his, trying to become conservative, while Lou was reading him the agenda for the afternoon. Greg is changing jobs in the next few days, moving from NBTel to Commodore. Rose, on the other hand, is retaining her job, looking after children, except that she will have fewer, and he'll have bigger feet and require more attention. Greg, it gives me great pleasure to present you with your pen.
My over 40 adjusters, just over 40. Now that you've arrived at the age, we have arrived at the part where the pioneers want to talk to you. We have Mr. Hooper here to welcome you to the other end of the pioneer movement. I'm looking for him. You may have to go into your clogging act here. Still looking for Mr. Hooper.
Well, I'm not a clogger, and I'm not even the person who's supposed to present this award. So, but I don't want you to feel bad with that. Because I understood that Jerry McCrae, who was the past chapter president and the Life Member Club president, was going to be here to do this for you, and he had a lot of ammunition and some more things like John had to say about you. So since I'm not prepared, I don't really have a lot of bad ammunition. If I had known I was going to be here, though, I would have brought a bag of rocks, you know, about yay big that you can throw from 30 to 40 feet. Because I know you used to chum with Mac Cobham a little bit, and I suspect Mac's here in this audience somewhere. And anytime you ever went down the road with Mac and you saw a porcupine within eyesight, immediately you had to grind the car to a halt, get a pocket full of rocks and go crashing down to the tree. Anyway, I'm not sure, now that you're retired, you got lots of time to go crashing through the trees, but watch over the other end of the porcupine. Anyway, on behalf of NB Chapter 51, I'd like to present you with this certificate and also give you your life member pin. I'll put it on because if I don't, you probably will never ever put it on. Will you? Maybe a girl that hasn't. Anyway, that's a weird girl. This is your wallet-sized card, which will take you into a Pioneer function anywhere in North America if you're traveling and on the road. It's sort of like your passport to any activity that we're having. This certificate basically says life membership has been conferred upon Greg Dunnett in recognition of retirement from active service in the telephone industry and dedication to the principles of fellowship, loyalty, and service. Now, that service does not mean killing poor dignity. So I wish you all the best and stay in touch.
Thank you, Mr. Hooper, on behalf of Jerry McRae and the rest of us here. The over 40 adjustment. Very nice part this afternoon is going to happen right now. And I'd like to call Christina Wilson up to make a presentation. So, Rose, would you come up? Everyone knows that. We used to have a news line to put that on. Mrs. Dunnett never gets flowers. I didn't know you were on the new line. I know another fellow who's on the new line. I asked him what he learned when he was up there, and he gave me a knitting demonstration. What did you do in those long minutes? Right now, Mary has a presentation for you, Greg.
Rita Gordon and I worked very closely with Greg over the last few years, and from us, we'd like to wish you the best of luck in your retirement. Yeah, over that. Now, a couple other employees asked me to present this gift while I was up here. They know that every time we have a problem or an emergency around here, Greg's always quick to respond. And I'm sure once he retires, there'll be lots of emergencies that he'll have to respond to. So, on their behalf, I'd like to present this to you, Greg.
The front's a lot uglier in the back, though.
Kid for retirement emergency. Carpenter gloves.
Greg.
Splinter ring over. Portable darkness eliminated. Emergency salmon tag. Probably will be an emergency. Emergency binding device. Notepad for listing little things to do. It says a mobile phone. Backwoods mobile phone. Red one at that, kind of in the dark.
Sticker there?
Secret. Arrested now? Next we'll have Mr. Fallon come back up here again and make another little presentation.
We should try to get the tall people in an order than all the short people after. Anyway, Greg has always been a strong proponent of technological change. As long as I've known him, he's looked forward to having his terminal hooked into the network. As a matter of fact, he found it this week. And he had found the keyboard, he'd have been all set to have it hooked in. But as soon as he got his terminal, he lost his phone. So I found him in my office on my phone. And he said he was taking over. Anyway, so because of that, Greg, and because of your strong standards of quality and so on, some of the people at the office have fixed up a couple of things for you as well. And I took the responsibility of opening them because one of them I had to make sure it was in the right place at the right time. So if you'll step over this way, I'll show you what I did. Office phones are being answered these days with a recorded announcement, so the boys have all fixed them up with a recorded announcement, and it does have an announcement on it on their form right now, so just let you hear it.
Dunnett, not able to answer the phone right now. Rose and I are having a nap. After that, if you want to leave a message, wait for the tone. If you don't, I agree with you. I don't like this.
That's perfect. One other item that Greg's high standards of quality have been, sometimes it's been a little excessive, we have to admit, because the people, when they want to do a particularly perfect job of getting his gift ready, I think they went a little overboard. This is, I want you to know that Merle tells me that you can have the rest of the key system at cost. Apparently they had the buffer on high.
No, that looks like the stuff that comes out of primary. If I would have had to make a guess, I would have said that was when Greg gave up smoking. I'd like to call out Kiddo right now. A lot of you people don't know who Kiddo is. So for the ill-informed, it's Keith McCullum.
Greg, who we called back in our younger days, was Jed. It was Jed behind his back and Greg to his face. But as everybody knows Greg and notices, he always got peppermints. Always got peppermints. And peppermints, not for the love of peppermints, but really, he feels more comfortable wearing his teeth with a peppermint in his mouth. Now that he's going on pension, we didn't feel that it was right for him to go home. I mean, maybe take the teeth out, pump them down, and say, there, that's it. And being on pension, of course, there's a little financial change to life, so we supplied, I call it a grocery budget. And we have now decided to give him a supplement to help his budget out. And we hope that Rose makes them suck these peppermints. And we'll put them to good use. I'm sure she'll make sure that he does a very good.
Good thing you brought that.
Any tape left in the warehouse?
Aren't you glad you never raised elephants? I bet he doesn't share them either, does he?
No, it doesn't.
Keep going yet? John Black has a very nice duty to perform right now on behalf of Greg's many friends. John, could you come up, please?
I'm tired of moving this thing up and down. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Greg and Rose, I'm very honored to be asked to make this presentation today. They told me at the time that I'd be last, but anyway, maybe we saved the best for the last. Greg, this is what is traditionally known as the gift from the employees. That's province-wide, NBTel active employees, retired employees, and the employees of Northern Telecom. We hope that it's something that you can use and will get years of enjoyment of it. If I can get it on cover, oh, something wrong with it.
Wheel it out a bit, John.
Just a box.
Need that for backup. Where's the knife? Knife's too late for that. Can't get the teeth that way either. Christmas time, I always have to say this.
Well caught.
Oh, that's good. You'll have to take a look at it after. I can't hold this one up.
Tell them what it is, Chris.
Table bath stuff.
Gotta get lots of bacon.
Enjoyed all that you've worked for so long. Dear Greg, may it be everything you hoped and dreamed it would be, and may it bring you all the happiness you deserve. For being a very special person, you are. Congratulations, everyone. NBTel.
Open the book too.
Don't take me again.
list all the names and so on. I won't read them all now.
You could read the last page.
For 38 years of service, NBTel has been wondering who done it. Finally, the culprit has been caught. It was Greg who done it.
I don't have to adjust this mic here for Mr. Celeste. So I don't think the rest of you have a lid. Forget it. I paid my dues. What I do for you, English. We have received, and it's rather lengthy, a poem from Bert Crozier. Everybody remember Bert Crozier? He's probably better known as Santa Claus. That's the last duties that he had for the remaining, what did he have, 35 years? He sort of peaked early. It more or less tells Greg's story from the time he came, right up pretty well until now, at least in the eyes of Mr. Crozier. He never had hair in his eyes when he wrote it, I'll tell you that. It was clear view. But it says to Greg Dunnett, a few years ago to the North Shore came little Gregory Dunnett was his name, with smiling face and cute little feet. Bert had an eye problem, his mother could read. And with playing ball and fishing too, he was really sharp and showed quite a few. Of a catch those salmon so shiny and bright, someone said he fished at night. With flashlight in hand and a fly on a stick, he could spear those salmon some awful quick. He then did join the NBTel, great big stories now he could tell, about the bears he killed by hand and grabbed the ducks sitting on the sand. He run the match or so, he said, until they really were quite dead. Well, he traveled around and quite a bit, and many cities he did hit. With different jobs in different places, he'd bring lots of smiles to some sad faces. With a story here and a story there, he'd keep us going, even help my hair to grow a bit and change its hue from nearly brown to a grayish blue. Okay. Well, down at the plant school, he really shined. He'd work a long time from dusk till dawn. And on he'd go from day to day with courses and courses, more on the way. And later on to Millidgeville came, and supplies and equipment was his game. He kept things hopping with lots of fun, kept old Bert Crow right on the run. With packing and shipping and losing some stuff, sometimes it became really quite rough. But we had lots of fun and working along. He could sing real good. You go like a lie with the best of them. He could sing real good, wrote many a song. And those number 12 were very spry. On the square dance floor, he'd really fly. And on the story goes. But the smell of food just hit my nose. I sort of missed that up, Mr. Crozier, I'm sorry. But the smell of food just hit my nose. Wow. Well, Greg, this poem has come to an end. You worked real hard and have been a good friend. May the blessings of God be yours today, and good health and happiness all along your way. Signed, your friend, Bert Crozier. It's good even time, Greg. It's your turn, and I'd like you people to welcome Mr. Greg Dunnett to the podium and get even with us and perhaps say something real nice.
What did I reduce for you?
Someone put those in my pocket by mistake. Well, I guess if you ask me if I'm nervous, yes I am. Just to tell you how nervous I was this morning. I got in the backyard and I didn't have my teeth. It took me about 20 minutes to make up my mind whether I go back and get them or not. One thing that struck me when I was getting rid of Rocky's notes here, I thought we were done with these short people. And they told me Lino wasn't coming. I said, oh, that's great, I won't have to move that mic up and down. You know, short people there. And then they tell me he's going to be master of ceremony. Anyway, when I thought about retirement, I decided I'd go and look in Webster to see what they said about retirement. And I didn't like everything I saw. To go away and retreat or withdraw to a private, sheltered, or secluded place. Well, we are going to go into a bit of seclusion maybe, but I don't like the rest of it. One of the other statements in there is to go to bed. No damn way am I going to go to bed. To give up one's work, business, career. Well, I'm maybe giving up one career, but I hope I'm starting into a new one. And I hope to be active. I'm certainly not going to go to bed.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Joe.
I really am stuck for something to say, really, in a sense, except that, yeah, Rocky and a few other people made a few remarks, and most of you got to be pretty damn good. But I'm going to get you people bad later on. So I said I'd have the last word. I'd like to thank Mr. Steve for presenting the President's Tray and his kind words. We appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Thank John for presenting the pen and his kind words. I was scared of what he might say. It threatened me for quite a while. Bob Hooper, I'd like to thank him for the Pioneer pen and the certificate. There he is. There's Jerry down there. Jerry, I guess maybe Bob did a good job in your play because you didn't quite have all your notes. That was the only thing. I was kind of worried about this gathering because I thought, my God, it would be embarrassing to come in here and just have my own family here. Because all week long I've been getting calls from people that made apologies that they couldn't make it. Oh my God, there's all my friends coming. But anyway, I'm really delighted. I'm really, I'm more than delighted. I guess I can't express it. How pleased I am to see so many people turn out at this point in time. I wasn't going to mention any names, but I have to mention one at least, and I'm really pleased to see Mr. Herb Shepard. He started me off, I guess I might say, in the right track. And I learned a few lessons back early then, and I don't think I ever forgot them. And I I want to thank him personally for that blessing. I'd like to thank all the rest of you for coming. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all well and good health. One thing to talk about in measurement of life, after all, it's not a duration, but a donation. And how the measurement of it really is how much you'll be missed. I heard a couple of the girls make a few comments, and I'm a little nosy at times. I kind of pop my ear a little bit to see what they're talking about. Anyway, one of the women said, I have a rotation diet. And the other one says, what do you mean by that? Well, every time I turn around, I'm eating. Couldn't pass that one up. I was looking through a book the other night, and actually it was a funny thing to be looking in when you're thinking about trying to find something to say. I went through one of the kids' high school books, yearbook. Come across a little poem in there that I thought was quite appropriate. We care because we want to. We sing because we want to. We laugh because we want to. And we love because we care. And I think that pretty well sums up a lot of my feelings. Now, as I leave to begin a new career, retirement if you want to call it that, I don't prefer to call it that, I only ask that my future brings me as many good friends and as much happiness and as much growth as the last 38 years with NBTel has given me and my family. May we all continue to work energetically for the betterment of mankind. And with that, I'd like to say how proud I am to have my family with me today, and thank you very much.
Extend the invitation to form a greeting line, if you would, and perhaps give your best wishes to them and their family. And after that, there'll be sandwiches and some goodies. All you people who can stand the calories, and those who can go on that rotation diet right away. But before we do that, last but not least, I'd like to call up Louis Dago and perhaps say grace for us before we form our line. Louis?
Thank you, Rocky. This is the right height. First of all, Greg, I want to say something though. I was at a function not too long ago, and before we even had to go get our meals, we had to sing. So if you want to probably lead us.
We'd like somebody to stay.
If we all can stand, please. Well, Heavenly Father, we ask you to come down, bless Greg and his family, his friends, and all those who are gathered here on this special occasion of Greg's retirement. We also ask you to bless this food which you have prepared for us. We ask this in his name, who is God and our Father. Amen.
Amen.
We need to come here and take advantage of this position and give it to you.
And I do wish you all the best.
Greg says that's what you've been doing.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
I know. I never
We can handle it. We will. Just because we're not sure. No, we don't have
Well, no.
They'll be all my driving. All these years, and I didn't even know.
You're the only one in the right there. Yes, you people have no one to try. Yeah, right.
Yours would be newer
Is that right, eh?
Anyway, all that. I didn't do anything bad this year. I'm all mixed up. I wanted to recruit you. Oh. What are you doing
You're gonna come out of church. I don't care what you do to the attendance. She's right. Best of luck. Chicken Republic? Yeah,
guys do this every country? I feel
What do you say, Merle? I figured you were the guy that was going to give me help in that phone.
No, I stayed here away from
I had some choice words for you, but I probably didn't do it on it.
However, the guys did ask me what was the one thing that Greg would like the most. And I said, well, the one thing, of course, is a recorder for his phone.
Yeah, he knows how I hate things.
Stooges, there they are.
You still got that thing going, haven't you?
Some guys never quit.